What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Sealy Strategics. As you can see, we're in the new studio. We bought a home, we moved in. I had to set up the studio, we redid it, we revamped it, we updated everything. So now we're in the new studio, and this is the very first episode recorded in a new spot, man. What y'all think of the studio, man? Check it out, man. It might not stay like this. We might do a little bit of changes, might move some things around and tweak things as we go along. I was just super excited, and I just wanted to put something together. I just wanted to do an episode so you guys can go ahead and check it out. I was anxious, and you know what I'm saying, I was just pumped up, I was amped up to record an episode for you guys, man. I missed you guys, man. I missed you guys. You guys are probably not going to see this episode until October. Right now it's August 30th. It's August 30th. I'm recording this episode, so you guys ain't going to see it until October because we already have the episode pre-scheduled. Anyways, man, welcome back to another episode, man. It's gonna be another bang diggy banging video here at Sealy Strategics. But anyways, let's get into today's topic, man. As you can see, like I said earlier, we bought a house. It was crazy, man. We moved everything in like 2 days. We were just humping stuff over, man. We were just humping it, man, by ourselves, man. So we moved the entire 4-bedroom household by ourselves. I had to set up the studio and everything, man. So here we are. While we were moving and while we were setting things up, I noticed what came across my mind: home defense and emergency drills, man. So basically what I'm trying to say is home defense and emergency situations. Like, do you have your house set up in a way where if something happens, 2 in the morning, it's 2 in the morning, you hear a window break, somebody's banging in your front door, do you have your weapons laid out in your house where if something happens downstairs, do you have a weapon upstairs? If something happened upstairs, do you have a weapon downstairs type of scenario? How is your home defense set up? That is today's topic. So jumping into the topic, man, home defense, man. So let's talk about it. Let's go ahead and talk about home defense, man. Things that you have to think about when you're moving into a new home, or when you're in your home, even if you've been there for years and it's not new or whatever. You have to think about home defense. You have to think about the worst case scenario. Some people like to say that I'm paranoid or I'm always thinking the worst and this and that, but I don't think that I'm paranoid, and I don't think that I'm always thinking the worst. I just always want to be ready. You know what I'm saying? I always want to be prepared for any type of situation that might pop off. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just want to be ready. If it's in the middle of the night, if it's 2 in the morning and I'm asleep and somebody, break in the house, I wanna be prepared. I want to be somewhat prepared. You're never really gonna be prepared for somebody to break into your house. You know what I'm saying? You're never really gonna be like prepared for that, mentally prepared for that. But you should be. You should start getting your mindset ready that, you know what, it could be a random situation where you might be that victim where somebody breaks in your home at 2-3 in the morning to break a window or to kick in your front door. There's things that you got to think about. There's things that you have to really plan for and really plan ahead for. For example, we have a 3-level home, and a lot of people have 3-level homes, and I know some people, they have their big safe down in the bottom level in the basement type area, you know what I'm saying, in the bottom level of their home. They have all their guns in a safe, because they got kids or whatever. So, they want to keep the guns as far away from the kids as possible. So they have it locked up in the safe in the basement or in the bottom floor. And the thing is, if all your guns, think about this for a second. If all your guns is on the bottom floor, and let's say your bedroom is on the 2nd floor or your bedroom's on the 3rd floor, like ours, all the bedrooms on the 3rd floor. The 2nd floor is just the living room areas and stuff like that, in the kitchen. And so the bedrooms, the sleeping areas is on the 3rd floor. The living area is on the 2nd floor. And, we got the basement area, the bottom level and stuff, and the garage, So You have to think about it. If someone wants to break into your home, just stop and think about this right now. You right there. You right there watching us on YouTube. You. Think about this for a second. If you're sleeping right now, if you're in your room, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and you're sleeping, and there's a crash, a break, a window breaks, or somebody's kicking down your front door, can you defend yourself if you, by the time you get downstairs or get into the living room, there's a guy in there, there's one person in there with a gun, there's 2 people in there, 3 people in there, and they all got guns. Are you able to defend yourself? Do you have a weapon close by that you can at least try to, you know what I'm saying, try to protect yourself? These are the things that people got to think about. These are the things that you have to think about, you and me. We all have to think about this. We all have to think about home defense and emergency setups. Do we have our home set up for a home invasion in the middle of the night? You know what I'm saying? Do you have a weapon close by in your bedroom that you can defend yourself in case, somebody break in your house at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning? The last thing you want to do is have all your guns on the bottom floor, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody breaks in on the 2nd floor and your bedroom is on the 3rd floor. So now you have guys on your 2nd floor, you're on the 3rd floor with no guns. Now you got to try to get through these guys with guns to try to get down to the bottom floor to get your guns. So that's not smart. That's not a smart setup. So the way one of the things that I was thinking about, and one of the things that I told my wife is that I want to get a big safe for the studio. I want to get a big safe for down here so I can keep majority of the guns down here, right? As you can see, I have a lot of the guns. I have some of the guns on the walls, and I got some guns behind me. You know what I'm saying? I got my rifle. Got some. You know what I'm saying? I got some guns here, but this isn't the permanent spot for them. And when I'm not shooting, I want to put them away in a safe. And a lot of times I gotta lug them upstairs because I have my safe upstairs. You know what I'm saying? And like I explained to my wife was like, okay, why don't you have the safe down in the basement? And I explained to her the scenario. Imagine 3 o'clock in the morning, we hear a big boom, bang, somebody kick in our front door, break through our living room window. They crash in the window or whatever, and 2, 3 guys got guns. Yes, even though I have a bedside pistol, I have a pistol safe that I keep by my bedside, I have access to my gun, my handgun. And, here I am, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, boom, crash. I load my gun up, I go downstairs and I'm looking, I'm looking for the bad guys. And all of a sudden, there's 2 guys in my living room, and let's say they got AK-47s. Let's say they got AR-15s. Let's say they got shotguns. And here I am with my little 9mm pea shooter, or if I grab my 40 cal or my 45 or something, and these guys got rifles. These guys got automatic rifles, and here I am with a handgun. I'm going to be outgunned in my own home. So that's the reason why I got my safe upstairs close by and in this closed location. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to come on here and tell you guys exactly my layout and how I have everything, because at the end of the day, criminals watch YouTube too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna say specifically where certain things are, but I have access to my rifles upstairs. And I told my wife, until we get my main safe, my big safe, I'm still, I told my wife, even when we get the big safe down here, the big safe down here, I'm still gonna keep that safe that I got up there upstairs with at least my 300 blackout and some, a bunch of magazines in there, and some pistols up there just in case too, because if I gotta hand out the family some guns, if it's if it's an apocalypse type situation, a zombie apocalypse type situation, there's a bunch of zombies, everybody in the house is gonna get a gun. So I want to make sure I have a safe that has some guns up there, so in case I need the family to back me up with some shooting, everybody got some guns and everything. So that's one thing to think about. Don't keep all your guns on the same level. You can keep the majority of your guns. If you have a gun room, if you want to make this whole room a gun room and lock it up, and that's cool, but you still want to make sure you have access to at least a rifle and a pistol in whatever floor you're sleeping in. Whatever floor. If you sleep on the 2nd floor, you sleep on the 3rd floor of your home, you sleep on the 1st floor, you want to make sure you have access to at least one rifle and a couple of handguns. That's just me personally. That's just my personal advice. If it's up to me, that's what I would do. I will make sure that I have, which is what I do right now, I make sure I have access to at least one rifle. I have access to a couple of rifles on my sleeping area, around my sleeping area, but I would suggest that you have at least one rifle and a pistol, I would say a couple pistols, just in case for some spontaneous reason your go-to pistol decide to jam up or something happens. You want to make sure you have a backup pistol. So I would say one rifle and at least 2 pistols. That's what I would keep around my sleeping area. Whatever floor you sleep on, I would try to keep 1 rifle and 2 pistols. Like I said, I'm not going to go into detail exactly how I have the layout of my stuff, because like I said, criminals watch YouTube too, man. Criminals watch YouTube too, so they can see. And I don't want to be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm here telling you, I keep my safe here and I keep my pistols here. Criminals are like, okay, cool. All right, we're gonna find out where this guy lives, and we know exactly where to go. His guns is. As soon as we break in his house, we're gonna charge upstairs and go downstairs because you know he got his guns, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna come on here and tell you exactly explicitly where I have my stuff set up, but let's just say I have access to a couple of rifles. I have access to a couple of pistols in my sleeping area. You know what I'm saying? Wherever I sleep, I have access to a couple pistols and a couple rifles. And I think that however your home layout, because you know there's a million home layouts. Not everybody home layout is the same. What might work for me might not work for you. But no matter if you live in a 4-floor home, a 3-floor, 2-floor, or a single floor home, you want to make sure that you have your guns, your emergency self-defense, home defense setups in a way that you can access them in the middle of the night easy, without going through any type of barriers, without going through any type of headaches. You want to make sure that you can access your defense weapons in the middle of the night easy at all times. So it doesn't matter what your floor layout is. I can't sit there and say, oh, this is the best thing to do. Have one safe here, have a safe up there, have this down there. I can't tell you because I don't know your house setup. You know your house setup, so you have to know how to set up your home defense. You want to make sure you organize and set up your home for defense in case something happens, and you got to defend your home. You got to defend your family. You got to defend yourself. So you want to make sure you have your stuff set up that's going to work for you, that you can have access to it. Of course, you want to make sure that everything is safe and secure. If you got kids in the home, like we don't have little kids in our house. The kid that's in our house right now is in high school. He knows better, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry about him, you know, gun safety. You want to make sure you teach your kids gun safety no matter how old they are. As soon as kids can understand what a gun is, you need to start teaching your kids gun safety and teaching them, you know, these things are not toys. They're not to be played with. They're not to be handled. Let me 1 second. Let me grab my phone real quick. All right, I turned that off. Sorry about that. I forgot my ringer on my phone was on. But yeah, like I was saying, make sure you teach your kids gun safety, and make sure you take the curiosity out of their head and teach them about guns at a young age. The younger they are and the younger you teach them about guns, you let them touch it. You let them know, hey, this is not a toy. But in the event that you ever come across a gun, the first thing you want to do, you want to treat it like it's loaded. You want to make sure you unload it, and you don't want to ever point it at anybody or anything you don't want destroyed. That's the main thing we have to drill into our kids. Gun safety, gun safety, gun safety. No matter how old you are, you need to drill gun safety around the people around you. Gun safety at all times. That's the number one priority, is gun safety. Anyways, back to the home defense, man. So my recommendation is, no matter how many floors you have in your home, if you have a 1-floor, 2-floor, 3-floor, 5-floor home, you want to make sure that you have it set up where you can have access, especially in the middle of the night. You want to make sure you have quick access to at least 1 rifle and 2 pistols. That's my suggestion. Like I said, I'm no home security expert. I'm no firearms expert, you know what I'm saying? I don't call myself an expert, man. I tried to know a little bit about everything. I don't know everything. I'm not saying that I'm an expert, but I try to know a little bit about everything, and I try to make sure that I know what I'm doing, you know, that's gonna work for me. I try to set things up that's gonna work for me. Every time I do something, anytime I set up any type of defense plan, if we move to a new home, the first thing I do is think about a defense plan. The first thing I start thinking about is, how many access to the homes do you have? How many access to the home do you have? Most people have a front door. Most people have a back door. Most people have a garage. And most people have multiple windows on the ground floor. So, but you have most people have 3 main entrances to the home: front door, back door, and garage. And then people have a billion windows in the side of their house on the ground level. So if you have windows on the ground level, those are access points too. So you got to think about how many access points you have to your home. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down. We first bought this house. We bought the house. The first number one thing that I look for when we were purchasing this house is the neighborhood. The first thing I look for is a neighborhood. We love the neighborhood. It's a really nice neighborhood. It's a real, what I'm saying, I'll call it middle class. Now, I don't think it's a high class. I don't think none of the homes in this neighborhood is millions over $1 million, but they're like around the 400-500 mark, like, what I'm saying, approximately around there, like, what I'm saying, we're in the half a milli zones, like, what I'm saying, we live in the half a milli zone. We don't live up in the millies yet. We don't live up in the high class. We're in the middle class, what I'm saying, we half a milli zones right here. But anyways, we love the neighborhood, man. It's a real beautiful neighborhood. So that's the one thing that we look at, the neighborhood. But the thing is, don't get it misconstrued, because a lot of people think because they live in a nice neighborhood that their home won't get broken into. And that's not true. I mean, criminals look for nice neighborhoods. Criminals look for nice middle-class neighborhoods that people think that nothing ever happens here. And those are the homes that they target, because people think that it won't happen. So that's the number one places that criminals are going to look at, is in nice neighborhoods. Criminals don't want to break into a house in the ghetto in the hood, because they know them boys strapped up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They know them boys in the hood crazy. Them boys got guns galore, and it could be somebody in there sleeping, some random person sleeping in the house, and they get shot. They don't want to do that. So criminals try to target people that they think is going to be soft targets. Criminals look for soft targets. So if you live in a nice middle class neighborhood, nice real suburban type neighborhood, criminals consider that a soft target, because they think that you're soft. You live in a nice neighborhood, so you must be soft. You know what I'm saying? So criminals are gonna think that. So neighborhood is number one. The number two thing that you want to think about when you got a home, when you're moving into a home, when you're moving into an area, is the one thing that you can do to help deter criminals and like to deflect criminals from trying to target your home is having an alarm system. If you have an alarm system, no matter what the company is, I'm not advertising no company, whatever alarm company you choose to go with, if you have signs out in your front yard saying, hey, protected by so-and-so, you have a big sign in your front yard that said this home is protected by so-and-so. You have those stickers, protected by so-and-so on your windows. People are going to think twice, because they're like, hey, and nowadays, these security companies, man, it's 24-hour monitoring. And even if they cut the power to your house, a lot of these companies are running off of satellites, so they don't need power to run, because a lot of the stuff is backed up by batteries, and if power goes out, someone breaks into your home, they're still monitoring your home through the satellites. But anyways, that's a whole nother discussion. So the second thing you can do is alarm system. Alarm system is going to help you out a lot. If you got expensive things, I got some expensive things up in here, you know what I'm saying? I got some things up in here that I want protected. So we have an alarm system on the house. That's the first thing, one of the first things that we did is make sure that we hooked up an alarm system. Number two thing you can do is hook up an alarm system. The third thing you can do is have a plan. Set up your guns and set up your home in case of an unfortunate event where you're a victim of a home invasion. You're a victim to a burglary in the middle of the night. You want to make sure that you have your home set up that puts you in a better position than the criminals. You want to set yourself up to be in a better defensive posture than the criminals, because the criminals are going to be on the offense. You're going to be in the defense. So you want to make sure that your defense is strong, just like a football team. Like, what I'm saying? You want to make sure your defense is strong. So you want to make sure that you have access to, like I said, 1 rifle, 2 pistols at the minimum in wherever area that you sleep in. Whether you sleep on the first floor, the second floor, the third floor, wherever you sleep, you want to make sure you have access to at least, like, remember this is magic numbers: 1 rifle, 2 pistols, man. That's the magic number. So I can't sit here and tell you exactly how to set up your home. Your home layout is different from my layout. So I can sit here and tell you exactly how my layout is, but it won't help you one bit. So you have to know, you have to know your home, and you have to know your home layout. You have to set up your home defense posture that's gonna best suit you, that's gonna put you in a better advantage. Like I said, all our rooms are on the 3rd floor, so if something wants to happen, I have a plan with the family. Hey, if you guys hear a noise, I need you guys to all go into the master bedroom and hunker down. I'm gonna give the wife a pistol. I'm gonna have them have access to a rifle, have a rifle loaded up and ready for them, and tell the wife, hey, hold the fort down. You guys stay in this corner, you guys stay in that corner of the house, because I'm going to be shooting everywhere else except for this corner of the house. And like I said, since we're in the 3rd floor, we have the high ground advantage. You know what I'm saying? So that's another good thing about living on the 3rd floor, is you're going to have that high ground advantage. We use that all the time in the military. You want to have the high ground. Look at any movie. Look at any situation. People with the high ground have the advantage. You know what I'm saying? So we have the advantage being on the 3rd floor. We're shooting down. Criminals got to shoot up at us, you know? So sorry for interrupting the video. I know you guys are all into it, but I need to take a quick second to give a big shout out and thank you to the channel sponsors, Wicked Arms Customs and Tactical Pontoon Triggers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for sponsoring the channel. Now let's get back to this content. We have the height advantage and I have the firepower. In my situation, if I'm sleeping 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I hear a bump in the night, a crash and a break, first thing I'm grabbing is my pistol from my bedside safe. I'm gonna grab my pistol. I mean, she's already gonna be loaded. If I see one person and I got that shot, I'm gonna take that shot. But if I see multiple people and I see that they got bigger firearms than me, I'm gonna just back off. I'm gonna run back to, you know, where I got my stuff, go get my rifle. You know, it's already gonna be loaded. Come down and I'm gonna set up that position. I'm gonna set up in that position and I'm gonna start taking shots with my rifle. I want to make sure I don't want to be outgunned. Worst thing you want to do is to be outgunned in a gunfight in your home. That's the worst case scenario, is to be outgunned in your home. You want to make sure that you have the guns. You want to make sure that you have the firepower to match whatever they got. So like I said, I'm gonna grab my pistol first to go investigate. And if I see one person, I'm gonna take that shot with my pistol. But if I see multiple people, you know what I'm saying, and they got AKs, they got AR-15s, I'm gonna go grab me my 300 blackout. Let's go. Let's party. It's gonna be some furniture movement, like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some smoke in the city, baby. It's gonna be some smoke in the city. And don't get me wrong, I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here hyping it up. But like I told my wife, when I was telling my wife, and I was going through scenarios with my wife, you know, she was like, "You seem like you want to be in that, you want something to happen." I'm like, "No, don't get it twisted, man. I don't ever want to be in a situation to have to pull the trigger on another human being again. I don't ever want to be in that situation. I don't ever wish that on anybody. I don't ever look for anything. I don't ever want something to happen. But like I explained to my wife, I don't want anything to happen. But in the event it does, we're ready. I want to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the name of the game, is to always be ready, man. Always be ready so you don't have to get ready. That's the name of the game. When it comes to self-defense, personal defense, home defense, always be ready so you don't have to get ready. But anyways, man, I hope this episode have you guys thinking. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not paranoid. I'm not, nothing. I'm not no conspiracy theorist or none of that. I'm just a realist, man. And at the end of the day, burglaries and home invasions happen. Regardless if you want to, if you want to live in a fantasy world and think it can never happen to you, cool. But I know reality, and reality is burglaries and home invasions happen. And I want to be prepared, and I don't want to be outgunned. I don't want to be outgunned in my own home. I don't want to be running for cover in my own home. I want to be suppressing fire and making these guys who broke in my house wish that they never even thought about breaking in my house. I want to put the fear of God in these guys when they break into my house. I want to rain down so much 300 blackout shots at these guys. And the thing is, the way how my house is set up, if they come in through the first living, the main front door, where my neighbor's house is at, if I'm shooting down, I know I ain't got to worry about shooting my neighbor, because I'm shooting down, this is going to go through the yard. It's going through the side of the house. It's not going to go through my neighbor's house. And if they come through the back door, the way how my staircase is, I'm going to have cover from my stairs, and I'm going to just be sniping them from the back door. If they come through from the garage, they got to come up that stairwell. So I'm going to just be planted right there. As soon as they turn that corner, I'm going to light them up. I already have the advantage in my home. The way how my house is set up, when we bought it, I told my wife, yo, this is the perfect home defense setup. This is the perfect, whoever built this house, they built this house with home defense in mind, because the way how the house is laid out with all the main entrances, I have the advantage if I'm on that 3rd floor. And even if something was to happen in the middle of the night and I'm down here in the bottom floor, they might have the advantage because they're in the 2nd floor, but I still have access to my babies if I'm down here recording. In a more realistic scenario, it'll be in the middle of the night. I'll be upstairs, the guns will be up there, and I'm gonna be ready to roll. But anyways, man, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe, make sure you guys hit that notification bell so you guys get notified every time we drop another video. And I know you guys are checking out my I'm a Gun Tuber sweater, man. This is one of my favorite sweaters. I really made this for me. I know a lot of people don't have gun YouTube channels, don't have a gun tube channel. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of you guys aren't gun tubers, but hey, if you want to support the channel, man, check out the merch shop. We have tons upon tons upon tons of two-way design t-shirts, sweaters, you name it, man. We have all type of two-way apparel. We have all type of two-way merchandise, man. Go ahead and show your boy some support. And I like this setup better because I can move around. I can get up on my chair. I can do stuff. I have a lot more space, even though this area is a little bit more confined, but I have it confined for the video, just, you know what I'm saying, just so it looks better. But I can literally flip this table over and, you know, I have a bunch of space, man. But anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. Thank you guys for subscribing. See you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to hit up the merch shop. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, man. And remember, be greater than you were yesterday. Always be ready so you don't have to get ready. Here at Sealy Strategics, we live to train and we train to live. Staff Sergeant Sealy's out.